Ravensrise by Claire Casey, Chapter 6. Cairn slipped through the streets of Freewell, his eyes darting from one thing to the next, searching for anything that could be turned to his advantage. There were always those who were willing to pass him information, all for a few extra coins. There was one such person who he knew would be perfect for what he had in mind. Seeing her only a short distance ahead, he cut across a busy city street. Slinking through the crowds, he kept his focus on the young woman he had come to see. She sat, eating an apple, watching those around her, waiting for the right moment to relieve others of a coin or two. He was certain that she would even have stolen the apple from an unsuspecting stallholder, who was still none the wiser. Her name was Taria. At least that was the name that she'd given him when he'd asked. Whether it was her real name or not, he didn't ask too many questions. He knew that there was more to her than she was willing to let others see, and he was happy to leave it that way. Seeing glimpses of himself in her was enough for Cairn to know that he could use her for what he needed. She had proven herself more than capable with the small tasks that he had set her in the past. Now it was time that she was given something more suited to her talents. Taria was his unofficial apprentice, and she had proven herself to be more than worthy. That was even though she was just shy of her 20th year, barely old enough to know anything of the world. That hid the darkness that he understood filled her young soul. Cairn had found her as a street urchin with no family and no loved ones. All that she had was her name. Starving and shivering with cold, Taria was more than willing to learn just to be fed and kept relatively warm. Her hair was blonde, verging on white, and her eyes were a cool ice blue, with a gaze that was nearly as cutting as her tongue. Despite her light build, she was more than capable of holding her own in a fight, and was wise enough to know when to keep her own counsel. Cairn knew that death would one day find her, but that did not fill him with terror. His ability to go unnoticed had served him well, but the thought that he would be forgotten after his death made his blood run cold. Taria gave him a faint glimpse of hope, and he could avoid that fate. She was the one who'd follow in his footsteps after he was gone. She got to her feet and walked off through the crowd. Losing sight of her for a moment, Cairn stopped in the middle of the pavement, looking in the direction that he had last seen her heading in. Tenement buildings towered over him on both sides. As a light laugh caught his ear, he turned to find Taria leaning against a nearby wall, playing with what little was left of her apple. "You've come with another task for me, haven't you? What is it this time?" she asked. "Something interesting, I hope. Or as it could be more of the same." "I'll be needing you to go to a place called Ravensrise. Have you heard of it?" Having never left the confines of Freewell, Taria shook her head as Cairn continued. "It's a place a few days' ride to the northwest of Freewell. It's the home of someone called Rowan Bonarrow. He's a member of the High Council, but he's proven himself to be untrustworthy." "What will you be expecting me to do when I get there?" "Will I be going there myself?" "You will be going there yourself. I want you to infiltrate the household and wait there until I give you further orders. I want you to gain as much information as you can while you are there," he told her. She nodded, listening to him, and she tossed the core of her apple to one side. "I will come to Ravensrise when I can. You will give me what information you've been able to get from me. You'll receive word when I will be on my way and where I will meet you," Cairn told her. Taria took her time to answer. Why doesn't that boss of yours just get his mercenaries to go and deal with this, Rowan? Tari asked. I'm sure it'd be a lot quicker if he did it than sending someone to spy on him. You don't need to know the reasons why I'm sending you. All you have to do is go there and spy for me. The mercenaries will get there soon enough, Kern told her. How will I be getting there? When will I be leaving? Everything has been arranged, and you'll be leaving tomorrow morning, Kern told her. Meet me at the main square at dawn. Don't be late.